Maybe you've heard of the legend of Granny Bird and the prize-winning jam.
Do you always begin conversations this way?
But I bet you haven't heard her secret. Those who have know the best thing to do is... run!
Why, hello there, everyone. We are back.
Did you miss me?
As you all know, we recently had the opportunity to go to Carowinds amusement park, located on the border of both North and South Carolina. And now, as the juices of our experience have marinated in our mind for some time now, we are ready, and we are coming with our definitive, scientifically proven, spiritually enlightened, and philosophically debated ranking
Oh, is it now?
of every single ride at the park.
And when we say every ride, that is a Park Pals
Guarantee.
that we are going to rank every ride. That's right, Camp Bus, we're looking at you.
I love Camp Bus. That is, we'll be ranking every single ride that you can ride solo without needing to accompany a small child. You know, our usual ranking process as we have done with parks in the past.
So without any further ado, let's do it.
Now, Carowinds, let's just say it has a lot, and I mean a lot of rides. And if we took the time to speak about each and every one of these rides, we would have to make this probably a two-part video where we go into all of the intricate details and lore as we discuss Snoopy's Junction, which, you know, I might be down for.
But some people, you know, the lame ones might be like, oh, it's too boring, you know?
Yeah. So instead, we are only going to focus on the big boys, right? The top 10 rides at this park. But that being said,
We did say that we were going to rank every ride.
That is a Park Pals guarantee.
so we took the liberty of putting together our list and our opinions of all of the other rides. And for all of you nerds out there, like us, right? We're going to put that list in the description of this video if you want all of it. And we're going to put it on the screen. Ready? In 3, 2. Behold our list.
Wow.
Now, my head's blocking it, as you can see, but there is one ride that is puts a -1 on the overall score. And you may be asking, but why? What is your beef with Snoopy's Junction? For those of you veterans who have seen the Kings Island ranking video, you know I had some beef with Snoopy's Junction, and I scored it as a -1, and I feel like we have to keep it consistent.
If any park has Snoopy's Junction, it is automatically -1 point to the park.
I'll spare you the rant.
And for the rest of these rides, I mean, we could go into the detail of some of these. Most of them are flat rides found throughout the park. Some of them are kids' rides. But other than that, there's really nothing noteworthy here, which is why it's not reaching the top of our list. But also, they are rides at a park.
Never would have guessed.
And rides at a park, you know, it adds to the capacity. It adds to the fun. This means, because we have done this already, we can start with the rides that we classify as a good time. Each of these rides are worth 3 points to the park, and these are rides that we would go out of our way to ride, even if there's a line up to about, let's say, 30 minutes. So, starting with number 10 on our list, we have a Vortex.
You either hate it or you think it's okay. You know? Like
No one loves it?
No one, I mean, there could be someone out there who loves it.
So I will confess, I have never been on this ride because it was closed when I went to Carowinds for the first time. So I am deferring my judgment to Mia.
It's a stand-up coaster that could either make it or break it for some people. I don't particularly hate them as much as some people do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's there. If I'm in the mood, I would ride it, but I definitely wouldn't wait over 30 minutes for it. That's
the cutoff.
That's
And even
the
that's
cutoff.
pushing it a little for
That,
you?
that's
All right.
kind of pushing it
So
for me.
without bashing Vortex anymore, let's move on to our next ride, which some people might hate me for this, but Ricochet, the wild mouse found at Carowinds. Now, I have a really soft spot for wild mouse coasters. Like, I think they're really fun. I just love getting smooshed on a wild mouse as it goes around a corner.
That's easy for you to say. You're the big one. Usually, I'm not a wild mouse kind of girly, but this one kind of did. It did it for me.
And honestly, I don't know what you're really saying because it's pretty much the same as any other wild mouse coaster that I've ever been on.
This one was different.
Moving on to our next ride, we have the only flat ride from the park that made the top 10 of our list, Scream Weaver.
The Enterprise.
It's a classic Enterprise flat ride.
I don't know, I have no idea what the general consensus is on Enterprise rides, but listen.
For flat rides, top tier.
I love them.
Going into them, not having a seatbelt, I mean, that's just really fun. Having the
really
G-forces hold you into your seat. It's basically just a G-force simulator, like a centrifuge kind of thing. It's fantastic. I love it. Up next, we have another one that I have not been able to ride yet because, once again, it was closed when I was there. But, one, I have a feeling that I would like them. And two, Mia vouched for them.
I did.
The Flying Cobras. A classic Vekoma boomerang.
And listen, I'm usually not a boomerang fan, but this one, they just did a good, the restraints are fantastic. It's smooth for some reason, which I appreciate, and it's just, you know, a good time.
To be honest, I'm kind of a fan of janky old boomerangs. Like, I know people hate them
He's easy
with a
to
burning
please.
passion, but I kind of love the feeling of getting beat up on a roller coaster. I think it's fun. That's a little foreshadowing for later on in this ranking video. But, yeah, this ride, it's from Geauga Lake, right? So the history of it is great.
yes.
And plus, it's blue. I like blue. On to the next one. And now this one, we had to fight for, Zoe and I, right? Because Mia, I don't really get what her beef is with this ride because it's really not I get that it's not the most exciting in the world, but it's still fun. It is the Hurler.
I just didn't like it that much, okay? I'm sorry.
What is your problem with the Hurler?
It just didn't do it for me. Like, the airtime, I feel like I wasn't getting that much. It was janky and beating you up. I felt like there was no purpose of the beating to the pulpness of it.
I didn't think it beat you up that much. I thought it was a pretty smooth ride, I'll be honest.
It gave me a headache.
I will add though, the Hurler is a vibe. Every single time I have been on the Hurler, right? Every single time.
Like once. You've been on it once.
I have been on it once, but every single time I have been on it, the station operators, right? The people operating the station, they have been fantastic. Play the clip. Boom. There was the clip. I mean, how could you not have a good time if the guy operating the ride was having that good a time just operating it and not even riding it? It's amazing.
Okay.
I'm honestly tempted to move it up to a 4 right now.
No.
But I won't for the sake of Mia's hate.
I'm-
Mia is a hateful person. Now, since the Hurler didn't quite make it there, which I'm sorry about, we are moving on to the next tier, right? We have transcended a good time, and we are moving on to the
I'm getting back in line.
tier. These are ones that you definitely need to ride if you're going to the park.
More than once, probably.
More than once, probably. They're that good. So, each of these will be worth 4 points to the park. And moving on to the first one we have here in the I'm getting back in line tier, we have Intimidator.
Your basic hyper coaster. You can't go wrong.
It's Diamondback. Not quite as good as Diamondback.
You're in a parking lot.
Mostly for the location. Like, the ride itself, I'd say is probably just as good as Diamondback. Diamondback's a little better.
Yeah.
But you're in a parking lot, which takes away a little bit from it. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
But like, you know, the good floater airtime. the good restraints,
It gives you great views
great views of your car.
of your car. Moving on to the next one, we have one of Mia's favorite rides at the park and one of Mia's favorite type of coasters, I would say.
Is it?
I mean, you tend to like these more than I do, but
Yeah, it's true.
You love the inverted coasters. We have Afterburn.
Listen, it's so good. It's really good. It's whippy. See, I'm used to Banshee. We're Kings Island folks, so I'm used to like the more drawn out layout of Banshee. This one, it just packs a punch. It's just a great time, and I think it's very underrated. It reminds me a lot of Montu at Busch Gardens.
My only complaint, really, with inverted coasters in general is that unless you're in the front row, you just don't see anything. The rest of them, even if you're not in the front row, you can still see around a little bit, but these ones, you're just like, you're staring at the back of someone's seat.
The 1,000 tons of fire.
Whoa, look at that! Hey!
And speaking of seeing, let's see the next ride. We've got Copperhead Strike.
I mean, it has a story. Is it the most masterful story ever written?
Yes.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know, the story of this ride is as follows. Your grandmother, a distinguished and lovely lady, she has been winning the county fair jam competition for many years now. And so you go to pay her a visit, right? You drive into her shed where she makes her jams and you catch her putting her illegal moonshine into the jam. And then, because you discovered her secret, she chases you. How many roller coaster stories are just, hey look, you're going fast? This one, it gives you a reason,
Gives you a reason
to go fast.
Which,
right?
what's funny is that you don't really go fast on this ride.
Yeah, honestly, that's my biggest complaint with this ride, is that it's not the quickest in the world. It's got a great launch at the beginning. It's very whippy, you're getting whipped around. It's got great hang time when you go over some of the inversions, but the overall speed, I would say, is what it's missing the most compared to some other similar coasters like Velocicoaster or, I mean, even Iron Gwazi, right? That's the only thing holding it back. Anyway, moving on to our second favorite ride at the park.
Probably the most controversial take.
This should not be controversial, right? At the top of I'm Getting Back in Line tier, we have good old Nighthawk. What a delicious ride this is. So, a little story. Mia, I have only been to Carowinds once, right? Mia has been multiple times. 3 times, I think.
3 times.
And the first 2 times she was there, based on the popular opinion of the interwebs, she was walking past Nighthawk and she said, you know, I heard it's not that good. I'm gonna skip it. 2 times she did that.
2 times.
Until little old me came along and was like, Mia, no, we're here. We're riding Nighthawk. I mean, it's a flying coaster. Who doesn't like flying coasters? It is the most janky flying coaster you'll ever ride. There are moments where you will not be able to breathe because of the pressure pushing down on your chest. There are moments when your head will slam into the headrests. There are moments when you'll be both blinded by the sun and made deaf from the roaring of the chain lift hill as you climb it. And you may be thinking to yourself, but Joel, these aren't selling points to the ride. Yes, they are. Like I said, getting beat up by a roller coaster, I mean, why are you going to a theme park if you don't want to get beat up by a roller coaster? All these wimps out there saying, oh, it was a little rough. That's the point, bro. You know what? Executive decision. I'm moving it up to a 5. And you can come after our list if you want.
But listen. For all those saying it shouldn't be there, listen, Snoopy's Junction took away 1 point, so like just pretend that's Nighthawk, you know? Like,
no, I would do this anyway.
Okay.
Nighthawk is up there with the likes of the Beast. It is up there with the Iron Gwazis of the world. It is up there with the Velocicoasters of the world. Nighthawk, baby.
And also up there with our next ride, which is also a 5.
Yes. Nighthawk, you're great, but I couldn't put you above this one. But we've got Fury 325.
Surprise.
I mean, how could we not put this at the top
Yeah.
of our list, right?
It's smooth. It's fast. It's tall. It's
Windy.
windy.
Yeah, again, the front row experience of this ride is amazing. Dare I say, breathtaking.
I'm more of a front row person on Fury. than a back row. I've ridden both. I'm just saying, the front with the wind, it's worth waiting for. I don't know if you trust our taste after this, but it's a Park Pals guarantee.
I think they have all the more reason to trust our taste after a beautiful list such as this.
Yes.
And going on to the final thing we like to rank with every park. We want to just talk about the overall theming of Carowinds as a park. And I would say overall, it's very solid, right? It's nothing mind-blowing like you'll get at Disney's or Universal's or anything like that. But
It's clean.
it's clean.
It has
distinct areas.
Yeah.
It's nice. I'd say it's solidly worth 3 points to the park. So we're gonna go ahead and put the theming right there.
Good job, Carol.
Good job, Carowinds. You're a great park. Which means if we are to add up the final score of all of these rides at Carowinds, it will come in with a grand total of 83 points. What do you think of our list, right? Do you think we are stupid with Nighthawk, or do you think we are geniuses who have enlightened and opened your eyes to the beauty of Nighthawk before you? If you have any opinions on that, let us know down in the comments below.
And if you like Nighthawk, you should like this video and subscribe. And if you don't like Nighthawk,
You should do that anyway.
yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.